Hi, this is Jarrod with Unymira. I work in product marketing for our knowledge management solutions, and today I'm talking to one of our customers, Keith Singer. Keith?
Hey, how you doing? Keith Singer. I'm a manager of customer service. Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll dive right into it. We don't want you to waste your answers on the intro.
Ah,
So the first question I have for you is, what kind of initially drove you to look at knowledge management solutions for your company? What were you using before? What kind of took you to the point where you said, okay, we need to do something?
right. Our organization struggled with both finding content and creating content. We were using SharePoint. I think the
Okay.
biggest driver was definitely problems for searching and finding articles when needed, while talking live with customers, but also limited availability to add authors and just be able to create content played a big factor.
Okay, so it was kind of both the agent interactions, but also the editorial, kind of the back end and the administration side.
Absolutely. We found it difficult to author. Content I felt like we needed specialty. There was only specific people that could do it, and the learning, the teaching of that was we found quite difficult.
Okay. And what were your concerns or challenges in terms of finding a new system and then actually deploying it? Because of course this could turn into quite a big IT project, right?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of concerns. I think first and foremost, having the time to create content. Would there be enough content so users didn't get frustrated and not use it and say, hey, this isn't good? How would we get reps to use it without mandating it and forcing it? It would be just another tool that they had to use.
Okay. And you said that you had been using SharePoint, I guess, among other
Yeah.
tools. Were you thinking about completely replacing SharePoint or integrating them and using them simultaneously, or maybe phasing SharePoint out over time? How did you go about that?
Sure. Yeah, both actually. So short term, we integrated into SharePoint so that existing articles can still be found one location. I think that was important was to not have to have Swivel where they were running to two different systems. So we integrated short term so that they could find it would crawl both and present both. The long term goal was to eventually phase out of SharePoint, which actually we have done so far. We have done that to this point. So we're off. Yep, we're off SharePoint, and all articles have been created in Knowledge Center.
Congratulations! Getting away from SharePoint, I think, is a dream of many people in contact centers.
For sure.
For
sure.
Okay, so I'm curious about I'm a little bit curious about the vendor selection process. I feel like in a field like, say, CRM, it's very clear what you're getting, and ultimately the idea and the approach is similar. And in knowledge management, you have a wide range of vendors that have very different approaches, from your contact center specific systems to kind of general collaboration, internal sharing that has nothing to do with, say, a service scenario. So how did you go about even kind of shortlisting vendors and deciding who made sense?
So first, we put together a list of requirements. Really, what were the clear pain points, right? And what were the features we wanted? And we said, hey, this is what we need to have, right? Then we started reaching out to all knowledge management vendors. I think we found a lot of ticketing system vendors offered a knowledge management solution, but only did so really to complement their ticketing system. We found that they just, it wasn't their primary focus, and so it didn't solve all of our needs. So basically, we evaluated each vendor and based its ability to meet those needs is where we went.
Did you find that there were many vendors who were actually, I guess, well suited for customer service, or that most of them were kind of too broad?
I think they all did some, right? They were all able to do just enough, I think, to say that they met the need. I would say There were very few that actually, that was their main primary focus, was to just do knowledge management, make creating content easy, you know, have an abundance of features and functionality that really help, from our standpoint, find knowledge as quickly as possible when talking to the customer.
Okay. And you talked a little bit about like that you had already phased out SharePoint, for example. So I'm wondering about the existing content. So I assume you had content in SharePoint. You know, I'm going to guess Word documents, Excel, kind of the typical stuff. What was your plan for dealing with that? Did you migrate everything at once, or did you sort of phase it in like you said with SharePoint? I know that's a big concern for a lot of people we talk to.
Yeah, we migrated all the content that we owned, but we did it in phase. So actually, what we did is actually we broke apart our existing articles into FAQs. So we took a lot of our content was in presentation, SharePoint, in you know, presentation, and Word documents that were long. So what we did was we actually broke apart, and we just started removing content as we moved it over. We actually broke apart our articles into FAQ type, right, articles. Then what we did was we actually created, we used the meta article to create like an overview. So what we did was it really tied all the FAQs up into one separate article. Really what this did is allowed our reps to be able to either search for the specific you know, question they were looking for, FAQ that they were looking for, or be able to then browse looking at this one overview. I think it's called meta document in Unymira, but it's really like this, we call it like an overview document where it ties them all together, so rep can actually search and see all in one place. Instead
of like a 10-page PDF where it's all Control F, Control F.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
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 I think we've all been there. So my next question is kind of dealing with for people who are maybe outside, who don't have all the experience that you do. So how would you explain the importance of knowledge management to others, say to people who they may not even realize that that's what they need, but you know, they maybe they have the pain points, but they haven't figured out, hey, maybe knowledge management is something that could help solve them. How would you explain that to somebody who doesn't have the background?
So for me, I think my opinion is it's truly critical to put knowledge in the center of your business. And what do I mean by that is I'm not sure of any other solution that sort of addresses all the, you know, a lot of the challenges in today's contact centers, like knowledge management, right? So we talk about improved first contact resolution, ensuring quality, more consistent solutions and answers, increase rep confidence when dealing with new issues, decrease time to resolve, lowers average handle time, able to train new team members, right, from knowledge base, right? So we do that. We train our new hires from the knowledge base, so it decreases time to onboard.
Nice.
Able to reinforce and drive change, right? Providing FAQs and knowledge. So when we push out change, we make sure we have knowledge articles and we point them to, when we put out we use the news feature and make sure we drive them to, you know, something that's changed, a policy or procedure that may have changed. And I think most importantly is the natural language search. For us, it was for the reps while they're on the phone live with a customer, being able to quickly just search and find what they're looking for quickly. I think so. To me, having that information at their fingertips is drives so obviously so many of the big areas in working with a contact and running a contact center.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's clear afterwards, but I think initially one of the problems is people, they have all these isolated pain points, you know, like you just listed, but they don't necessarily see that they're tied together by something, because knowledge management just has not been such a big topic, at least in the last decade or so. I mean, of course, that's changing. So finally, to wrapping up here, so so I don't take all of your day, I wanted to ask what kind of lessons from your project have you learned that you would share with others who are thinking of doing the same thing or who are currently considering vendors?
I think first and foremost, you will only get out what you put in. I think take the time, it's worth the effort. I think identify and include influencers from your team to help gain buy-in. Include them as much as possible. So we presented this as their tool, meant to help them quickly find information at their fingertips, right? Talking to customers. they would need to, you know, help them provide feedback on existing articles. We asked them to say, hey, can you, you know, provide feedback, right? Something's missing.
Yep.
We also set up author roles. We have many of our seasoned reps creating content.
Okay.
You know, using workflows. Yep. So we're using workflows so that it goes to our knowledge manager for approval to be published. But really, this really helped twofold, right? This one helped us build up our content. Also helped us gain the buy-in and make them feel like this is, you know, they part of that it's really their tool. They own it. And as well as, you know, as well as they help build it is again, what you put in is what what you get out. So yeah, I think those are some of the biggest things that I would definitely say.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time today. It's been great. It's always good to hear from the front lines
my thoughts.
and how everybody's dealing with this. So thanks a lot, Keith. All right. You have a good day.
Thank you very much.